What's up? Dorm Talk 4. We're here from Dorm Room 1, reporting live along with the greatest of friends, Matt Prisco, everybody.
What up?
George Chudius,
How's it going?
and the one and only David Souza, coming at
How's it
you
going, boys?
live from Boston University. We're going to get right into it this week. This is going to be short, I promise. T-shirt update is coming. They are coming. We'll post a blog with a link to the store very, very soon. And if you're an exclusive member, you'll be getting the link before everybody else.
Oh yeah.
15 minutes before everybody else. So
Extra 15 minutes.
limited sizes. So once it goes up, and if you know you want one, get on an order. Can't tell you when that's going to be, but it's soon. We'll jump right into it. With a
Hoping this
little,
week.
say it again, man.
Hoping this week.
Hoping this week. All right, we're gonna hop right into NFL Week 3. We won't do a full recap this week. We'll go through the little NFL. We're gonna do a little
Only the
football.
important teams.
Exactly. We're gonna do a little NFL, a little college football, a little MLB, and a little bit of golf for you guys out there.
More refined sports fans.
All right, we're gonna start off NFL Week 3. We're gonna start off with. I keep saying we're gonna start off, but we're gonna lead off. Matt Prisco, talk about Patriots Jaguars and the bloodbath that was.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was typical. I wrote in my blog that we had 3 straight bye weeks. That was the first of the 3. And, I stand by that. I mean, look, Dallas, not to mention, I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, Dallas allowed, 39 to Atlanta? Imagine what they're going to allow to the Patriots at this rate. So, I mean, look, by week 1, it was great. It was a success. Even Garoppolo got in the game. Brady, once again, 358, 2 touchdowns. Could have thrown for more. He looks as sharp as ever, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on, I hope. Comparisons between him and Rodgers, which I think are worth talking about. In the end of the day, the best part and my only takeaway from this game, or not my only, but my main important takeaway, was that, or 2. 1, the secondary looked good, and it looked sharper than it's ever looked. Now, that was against Blake Bortles.
Well, he's a dangerous quarterback, man.
Dangerous.
He is. He can.
No
he
comment.
can damage you real quick.
No comment. Given it was against Blake Bortles, it is what it is. But at the second thing I wanted to mention was running game was huge. I thought that was really important to see LeGarrette Blount get into the game. The Patriots need to find a way to refine their power running game. They're going to need that versatility in the running game and in the offense in general going on as the season goes on. So if you have your finesse runner like Dion Lewis, your power runner like LeGarrette Blount, and then you continue to have arguably the best slot receiver in the game, best tight end in the game, and a couple good outside options, should be good. And should continue to be maybe the best offense in football. So,
George.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not even entertaining anymore to watch these guys. We're just killing everyone. Like, there hasn't been one game this year. Like, I know we've been, like, the Pittsburgh game was close. They kind of made it close at the end. The Buffalo game, they made a run. But, like, there hasn't been one game where I've been, like, super concerned or, like, even, like, remotely concerned that we're going to lose. Like, it's like, kind of nice just being able to, like, comfortably watch a game. Prisco said the running game's a big thing. I think LeGarrette is the guy to go to from now on. Dion's ball security is not there. What was that clock?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
I'm going to start playing that if any of you go on too long.
All right. I'll
Fucking gong.
What the heck? Okay.
That's ridiculous. Stop.
We'll do that when we change topics.
Got it.
Oh my God! I'm gonna do that every time Tim says Jason Witten's the toughest player he's ever seen.
He is. Dude, you can't. I'm not going to get
Let's go back to George.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
other than Tony Romo, of course.
Yeah, just the whole backfield controversy, not controversy, but the whole backfield situation right now. I think LeGarrette's the guy going forward. I think factor Dion Lewis in. He showed promise, but I see some flashes of Lawrence Maroney there. That kind of scares me with the stutter stepping at the line. LeGarrette, you know what you're getting.
Freaking salsa dance at the line.
Yeah.
Take your time. That was awful.
Irritating. And then the only other takeaway I had was just kind of a random thing. Keyshawn Martin got in their first game since we got him from the Texans. I think it's kind of just a testament to Belichick, the Belichick offense and the poise and talent of Brady that you can take a guy like this, really underused in Houston, not necessarily like a great player, kind of a no-name, and throw him in the offense. He has a nice little game for himself, had a nice TD, a couple catches, so that's just a testament to the offense.
Yep. Dave.
There's one part I really just want to focus on, and it's the fact the Patriots never punted on Sunday. If you look, there was this big infograph that went up at the end of the game, and it was the result of every Patriots drive, and it was something like field goal, touchdown, 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 field goal, touchdown, touchdown, field goal, need to end the game. It was like
It's crazy, man.
their offense was just unstoppable. Like George was saying, they took some random guy from the Texans. They got him to score a touchdown. Danny Amendola, who's giving away Tom Brady's 400th touchdown pass ball to some random people in the stands.
Brady doesn't care. Just another
Oh,
record. Just
he's
another day at the office.
We're not big on individual performances around here.
We're not big on that. No,
What
it's
was
not
it,
something
like,
they're big on.
spreading the wealth real well. Then they were able to like go out and just shut them down in the offense. Yeah, they gave up a couple of points there, but with a dangerous quarterback like Blake Bortles, that's going to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, so there's nothing really else to say except for that infograph.
All right. Yeah, I watched the Patriots game, a little bit of it the other day. It was same time as the Cowboys, so I kind of watched the Cowboys more because it's tickles my fancy a little more.
Of course.
Brady, Jacksonville didn't have a chance. I think they knew it too. So
Has there ever been
moving
an
forward, the
entertaining
Patriots get a bye week to
Jacksonville game?
plan for Brandon Weeden. I wouldn't really be too concerned about him. But like you said, the defense let up a lot of points. Mincy was out, and they're going to get Hardy and Gregory back for that game. So I think the defense might be able to do something against Brady, but I doubt Patriots score less than 25, 28 points. And they're not going to need to because Brandon Weeden, honestly, people are giving Brandon Weeden a lot of flack for the game the other day. I mean, he made one bad decision the entire game, and it probably cost him a game.
What did he complete? 22 for 26?
Yeah, 4 incompletions. One of them was a pick on which he should have just thrown the ball away. He throws that ball away. They just keep smacking him. They're up 28-7 at halftime. They would be up 28-7 at halftime, and the Falcons wouldn't be able to run the ball the entire second half. So they would have been able to cover Jones. And Julio Jones is so freaking good, man.
Yeah, he's
if I had to, because I'm a big Matt Ryan guy way back from BC, but I mean, Kyle Shanahan it's a shame for Matt Ryan because he's not going to be the offensive coordinator there next year. He's going to be a head coach somewhere. Their offense, dude, they put the fullback in. I wrote this article today too. They put the fullback in and they said we're going to run all over you because you guys are gassed and we know you can't make a big play on offense. And Devonta Freeman had a great game. They said we're going to put a fullback on Sean Lee and we're going to see what the other guys can do.
Yeah.
And they got punched in the teeth, kicked in the teeth.
Tim, I think you made a really good point. Sorry to interrupt you. I went back and watched some highlights from the Cowboys game. That was the really key thing. They really took care of Sean Lee, and I was really disappointed in that. Not to say that I think any less of him as a player. Obviously, I've been very, very high on that. But
I'll tell you, Sean Lee, you're talking about Sean Lee got his bottom lip busted, got kicked in his face mask pulled up and ripped off. So he was out for a drive, the end of that drive, and then another one after. So that's when they kind of established the run. And then once he got back in, the defensive line was wiped. So they were getting the second level with a guard and a fullback on Sean Lee.
No, you make sense. You're right. It makes sense. But at the same time, they straight bullied that entire defense.
Yeah.
And that's got to be disconcerting to see that even Atlanta, who I don't think is the most physical team in football, obviously you're going to find way more physical teams coming up. The fact that they were able to bully them was pretty bad. I was really disappointed overall in the defensive scheme in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, there's nothing you can do about Julio Jones. It was the same way that I felt when Pittsburgh played. When the Patriots played Pittsburgh, you weren't going to take away Antonio Brown. He's just that good. But that being said, 39 points is inexcusable. That's not going to fly against the
28
Pats.
in a row to end a game, or 25 in a row to end a game.
Absolutely. If you look at Dallas, had a 21-7 lead, was it?
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay,
the problem was second half they couldn't control that interception put the Falcons back with a chance. The second half they couldn't control the ball enough and couldn't make the big plays. So the defense was on the field the entire second half.
On a positive note,
on the D-line, they had no chance.
Last point though for me, on a positive note, I thought Weeden looked okay. The pick wasn't bad.
He could win. He put them in a position to win the game, man.
Strong throws. Yep.
He had a great throw to Cole Beasley on one of them. Joseph Randle was awesome in the first half. The offensive line, Lyle Collins was awesome.
Yep.
Tyron Smith got beat on one sack, the first sack in forever, and that was probably – but the penalties, Jason Witten had his usual false start per game, and it put him like second and 25. It was a mess. We'll move on. And then we're going to talk about the 3-0 teams in the NFL so far. In particular, contenders or pretenders. We're going to automatically assume that the Packers and Patriots are contenders. I think there's not a lot of debate there. but we're going to start right off with the Arizona Cardinals. Carson Palmer, undefeated in the last 2 seasons as the quarterback of Arizona. And they were pretty good without him last year, too. They weren't great, but they were pretty good. Matt, I'll go to Dave first because you're drinking. Dave, contender, pretender, Arizona.
Arizona Cardinals, they're going to be a contender this year. Last year when they had Carson Palmer before he and then Ryan Lindley went out, they were killing it. Their defense with Patrick Peterson leading the way is really good. It's really solid. When you have teams in the Division II like the San Francisco 49ers who are abysmal and the Seahawks who haven't been playing well either, I think this is the year it's all coming together for the Cardinals. They're going to win the NFC West.
Yep. George.
Yeah, I said in my blog a couple weeks ago, I got the Cards winning the NFC West. They're definitely a contender. The secondary looks incredible. Tyrann Mathieu, couple picks last game, 2 pick sixes for the secondary. Patrick Peterson back there too. The offense looks great. Larry Fitzgerald too, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just like had a major resurgence this year. We're seeing the flashes of what he was back in.
Finally got a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Back in like 2008 when he was nasty. But yeah, I love what I'm seeing from Carson. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Fitz. The secondary looks great. The defense looks great. So I think they're definitely a contender.
Okay, I'll put the Cardinals in the contender category because I definitely feel like 2 things. One, I think the division's totally playing into their hands.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not they have a good offense, and they do right now, they're more still a defensive football team. And the fact that they're not going to need to put up a ton of points come crunch time against teams like Seattle, against teams like St. Louis certainly, and against teams like obviously San Francisco should be 2 easy wins. That's going to play into their hands, and I think that's important. I'm not going to confidently say they're going to win the NFC West, even though it's looking like that now. It was kind of looking like that at one point last year, so just bear that in mind. My only question mark, look, John Brown takes the top off any defense. He's one of the more underrated wide receivers in the game. They have a solid combination in the backfield. If Chris Johnson stays healthy, which he has stayed healthy, they have a really, really solid combination back there. Him and Ellington can be pretty versatile. They can be pretty good. And obviously, Larry Fitzgerald, I mean, everybody's act like he was off the map for so long. He's still one of the best receivers in the game. Still one of the best, if not the best route runner I've ever seen to this day. And obviously his hands aren't really changing. Carson Palmer's still my question mark. Everybody's talked to, and he's had a great start. Don't get me wrong. But all I'll reference is, I'm not going to take anything away from him so far, but all I'll reference is find me the last time that he was able to do this for 16 games and take a team into the playoffs, and then I'll tell you I'm confident his team's going to win the division.
The answer is never, by the way. Contender, pretender, I think Arizona is absolutely a contender, but they kind of have a feel like the Kansas City Chiefs 2 years ago when they were undefeated. Remember when they were undefeated and they got crushed by Denver when they
were 11-0 and then they went 0-5 and lost the playoff game.
They kind of run a similar scheme, a little bit more big play theme, but they actually have that big play wide receiver in Fitzgerald. Yeah. Fitzgerald this year, they're kind of moving around, putting him in the slot and running their passing offense through him, which they've been waiting to do for so long because they finally got Palmer's comfortable with him, and he's been awesome. They were picking on San Francisco the other day. Who looks terrible. We'll move on to the next team. 3-0, Carolina Panthers. We'll go quick through these next 2 teams.
Yeah.
Just contender, pretender, right down the line.
Pretender, just because the injury to Kelvin Benjamin, not having him the entire year. Greg Olsen had a great game last game, but teams are going to learn to cover him. Then Cam Newton, the only other option he's going to have is running it, which, while he can run very well, sooner or later he's going to get hurt. If you're running all the time, you're going to get banged up, and especially because they're not even utilizing Jonathan Stewart either.
George.
Yeah, I got pretender too. The wide receiving core is not there. Cautry's down, Benjamin's down. What's his name? Funchess hasn't really stepped up. Olsen looked good last game, but he's struggled otherwise. I'm impressed with what I've seen from Newton so far, but I don't know. I don't think it's there this year.
Matt.
Let's have Cam Newton play a real tough defensive test. Look, his only option is Greg Olsen. Cam Chancellor is going to take that away in the biggest game that they play this year. No question about that. Other top safeties can do the same, and he's the only option. He's literally the only option. Cam's only averaging 48 yards on a game on the ground, which is great, but it's not like they're going to be able to surround their offense around that. Defensively, they're obviously the real deal, but they don't have anything else. They don't have any other dimension. You can't win every game 22-10.
Quick question on that one. Who do you think is more valuable to the Panthers, Cam Newton or Luke Kuechly?
Kuechly.
Luke Kuechly, yeah. He's the best linebacker in football. Cam
I don't know,
Newton's
man.
not even the best top 10.
I think I might have to take Cam Newton. I mean, obviously with a Brady or a Peyton Manning, they'd be really good. But if they had, Brandon Weeden as their quarterback, you wouldn't even know who Luke Kuechly was. And I love Luke. You know what I mean? Like the teams, Cam Newton gives them relevance. Gives the Carolina Panthers
I
relevance.
disagree with you. I disagree. I think
He's
Luke
doing a
Kuechly's
lot by
so
himself
good.
so far this year.
No. Don't get me wrong. Look, I'm not down on Cam Newton. I'm really not. I think the whole
Kuechly is
issue.
the best middle linebacker in football.
So I don't know how you can say that you wouldn't know his name if Cam Newton wasn't the quarterback.
I don't mean you wouldn't know his name, but I think without Cam Newton, if you took one of them away, it would affect you more, the Panthers more, if you took away Cam Newton.
Okay, all right.
That's fair.
Now, based on wins above replacement, like baseball.
I think that's just based on position. I think if you take any solid quarterback, it just means.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I.
Okay, all right. No, I see what you're saying.
I'm gonna say contender. That division is not much. So I think they'll have a pretty easy time. It's gonna be them versus Atlanta coming down the stretch, and they can play outside. Even though it's in Carolina still, I think Atlanta's gonna have a tough time when they have to play a couple of the. They're playing the East, but they still have to play. I think Atlanta plays Seattle. I'm honestly not 100% sure. But I think Cam Newton is finally being the Cam Newton from college, where he's like Ted Ginn Jr., he's throwing open. And he's throwing open Corey Brown and Olsen, Olsen's good. But, Funchess, maybe he'll come around. He went to Michigan, so probably not.
Hold on, real quick. Can we just mention what a dink Cam Newton is?
Yeah.
What a total dink. Ratting out Ed Hockley. That guy's such a jackass.
Oh, dude, I like that. I think.
Oh, that's ridiculous. It happens. That happens.
There was
exactly,
a stat,
but you shouldn't say that if you're the ref. You shouldn't say you're not old enough to get a call.
Hockley's wrong, and he's worse for denying it. But you know what? That's going to happen. You can't tell me you haven't seen Drew Brees get hit like waist high, and they're just like.
Yeah, you're right. The AFC quarterbacks get the calls. The NFC.
There was a stat I was looking at, and it was Cam Newton complained that he probably gets the least amount of calls, and someone's putting up. He gets the 11th most calls against him, and he's the number one quarterback that gets the roughing the passer call.
Well, the thing is, he gets hit so much because he runs.
He's moving around.
That is true. But he's
like
still
Cardell gets hit on every play. All right, contender, pretender, Cincinnati Bengals, 3-0.
Pretender. It's the
Nothing?
the only reason they beat the Ravens is because AJ Green had an 80-yard TD catch. They're not real. They did the same thing last year.
George?
Yeah, I'm going pretender. I'll never pick a team that has Andy Dalton as their quarterback to be a contender. Like you can hand out orange slices and give let's all play as a team speeches all you want, but you're not going to win anything. They have wins over the Chargers and Ravens, who both look lackluster this year. Ravens look horrible, and they beat up the Raiders week 1. They're improving, granted, but they're young, so no, they're pretenders.
Look, Cincinnati has just about as much talent as any team in football has. But in the end of the day, look who you got at quarterback. You got Will Ferrell from Kicking and Screaming at coach. And honest to God, guys, I mean, hold on, real quick. By contender, is contender like Super Bowl contender? Or
I guess so. I mean,
it's a definite no. It's a definite no.
Yeah, they'll probably do well in the AFC North.
If they're 3-0 now, are they going to make the playoffs?
No,
they're going to win that crappy division. But
please, they're going to win Listen, Cincinnati's one of the best regular season teams I've ever seen.
Yep.
Marvin Lewis is one of the best regular season coaches ever. He takes a dump on himself in the playoffs every year.
Every week we've had we'll pick the Bengals, and all three of you have picked the other team. And every week
I'll roll with that all day.
And I've been right every week. So I guess I'll stick with it here. I'm going to say I've said contender for every single one, but there's 2 levels of contender. There's contender of going to the AFC Championship, and there's contenders whether they can beat the Patriots, which
contender to lose to Tom Brady.
So,
that's what the AFC is at this point.
Exactly. Absolutely. So they're gonna probably go 12-4, and they're gonna lose bad in the playoffs.
Yep.
They might win a playoff game this year, though.
I can agree with that more.
It's
playoff game thing.
End. My buddy Sean comes in every week, and he said, "Did everybody pick against the Bengals?" I said, "Of course." He said, "Good. That means they're gonna win." Okay. So we'll go ahead. The last There might be there are a couple more 3-0. We'll go Atlanta Falcons real quick. We gotta get on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Contenders, good wide receiving core, good defense. Matt Ryan doesn't have the playoff experience except for 1 year, but he's got the arm strength. He's got the natural ability. Contender.
George.
I got contender. We're seeing vintage Matty Ice this year, making the second half comebacks. Offensive line's not like letting him get hammered every single play. So I like what I see. Julio Jones, Matt Ryan are the best connection of football right now.
Offensive line, no way offensive line keeps up that entire time. Matt Ryan's not good enough to handle the pressure the entire way through the season. He's only done it once. He's been a below-average quarterback the last 2 years. They're a pretender, despite the fact that I like what Dan Quinn's doing on defense.
I'm going to say pretender as well. All 3 wins have been comeback wins, and in the first half, if you saw the Atlanta Falcons in the first half of that Cowboys game, you would have thought they were the worst team you've ever seen.
How about the
The
Eagles?
defense
They deserve to beat the
stopped.
Eagles.
And the Eagles, they let the Eagles, who are awful, roll back in. So I'm going to say pretender this year, contender next year when Dan Quinn kind of gets his guys in. Because he's awesome. He's Pete Carroll with a
he's great.
mind.
Yeah,
So,
he's great.
I mean, enthusiasm, defenses. He's going to be really good for them. So they needed a hard ass, and he's certainly a hard ass, and he's excited about it. Follow him. He's a good follow on Twitter, by the way. He's like Harbaugh, except he's not as much of a tool. We'll move on to a little college football talk here. George wrote a great piece on Mr. Steve Adazio, the head dude at Boston College. George, who's BC got this weekend?
We got Duke at Duke. We're gonna lose.
It's not basketball? No?
No. No, we're screwed. Our number one asset, John Hilleman, our running back, broke his foot. I think he's done for the year. We're already without Darius Wade at quarterback, so Adazio has no clue what the hell he's doing at quarterback right now. He literally was just throwing Flutie and Jeff Smith in there on every other drive. Like, Jeff Smith runs for like 15 yards. He's like, all right, fuck it, get him out of there, throw Flutie in. And
I keep thinking of the Vine.
The Vine is so good.
Be a dude.
I've watched that Vine.
Can I get it up?
Times.
I'm going to get it up.
Put it up. I have watched that thing 100 times. Like, the article's been awesome. Like, don't get me wrong, the article was great, but I click on that article like 100 times over just to watch that Vine.
No, I watched that Vine on loop for like 20 times when I found it.
Oh my God.
So perplexed
It's so
at
funny.
I'm just so perplexed that BC has the #1 defense.
Dude, our
in-
defense is unreal. Like,
How
it's
is
actually
that even possible?
The pass rush
Like,
has been incredible. We got because Adazio. I will, to his credit, Adazio has been recruiting on that line. Like, that defensive line is stacked. Harold Landry, kid we got, he's a sophomore out of North Carolina. He is mauling pass. He's running right through offensive lines.
Bunch
The
of dudes
secondaries
on
look
that
good for the
D-line.
Bunch of dudes, man.
bunch of dudes.
Bunch of guys being dudes out there. That's what we do.
That's all it is. That's the recipe for success.
Yeah.
No, real quick. Before, as Tim's loading up, Syracuse football, baby. We almost beat LSU.
I saw that. I was
Almost
pumped.
beat LSU. Let me tell you something. LSU's a total pretender team. Take away Fournette from that team,
That's
we're
why
a better
George is
team
going to
than
win.
them.
I'm telling you,
better-
if a team like Alabama can shut down the run and it comes down to having to actually throw the football, Georgia is not even so much better, but LSU is.
No, they are so much better than LSU.
All right, let me get some Adazio,
But, like-
dude.
But, like, there's no question about it. If we stop Fournette, if we didn't let Fournette, run for 244 yards, that's all, we probably would have had a chance. But, hey, it is what it is. Are we getting Steve Adazio?
Ready? Here's Steve Adazio encouraging you to come to the Pinstripe Bowl.
I love him.
Can you
I
guys see
love
the
him.
video right now?
No, just share screens, dude.
I'm on Hangout. It should work. 1 sec. This seems to be playing. Oh, Tim, this should be better. You should be better at this.
The Boston Red Sox, for the first time this season, won their 6th straight game, and it only took them till 2 days before the last game of the year.
Love it.
That's awesome.
We're late
All right, I'll
bloomers.
screen share. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the man himself.
Oh dear God.
The dude. Ready?
His face is awesome.
He's such a good.
I can't hear it.
You're
God.
mute, Tim.
No, it's because the video should be playing. I have YouTube up. The video should be playing in the. You can see my face right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That problem.
We'll just move on. We'll just get.
Whatever.
Yeah,
The-
we'll move
the
on.
message
Here's
is-
the deal.
dude.
The guy is an absolute winner. And-
Yeah. Okay. For what it's
Yeah.
worth, I do not recommend going to the Pinstripe Bowl.
All right, we'll talk about something a little bit more exciting college football-wise. We'll talk about the number one team in the country.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2016, we can refer to them as the reigning champs. We can call them that this year as well. They're about to put the hurt on the Big Ten. I don't think there'll be a Big Ten game within 2 touchdowns, which is
Michigan State, dude.
Yeah.
we're
Not
gonna beat
concerned
Michigan
about
State.
Harbaugh?
Michigan State at home at 8. Nope, not a chance. Penn
Not
State
afraid of
at
That's
8.
going to be within a touchdown, Tim.
Nope. Last year, everybody said we were going to lose by 2, won by 3 or 4 touchdowns.
This isn't last year.
Dude,
Who was
Yeah,
the
exactly,
quarterback
they're better.
last year?
JT Barrett.
It's JT Barrett last year.
Dude, I'm telling you, the defense is the Ohio State defense has scored more touchdowns than they've allowed in the last 4.
By the way, I think I was wrong officially. I'm now all of a sudden transferring off the Cardale train. I think he makes great throws. I think he's a most NFL type of quarterback, but JT Barrett may be better.
Yeah,
100%
I've been
agree
Team
with
JT
that.
from the
100%
start.
agree
But
with that.
Urban Meyer kind of made a
Great.
mess of the whole quarterback thing when he put JT back in there when Cardell struggled for 2 drives. It's like, dude, you just got to relax. It's a
Guys,
we beat. What did we beat? We won
Just give the ball to Ezekiel Elliott when
Illinois
Cardell Jones can't do
by a
well.
touchdown and a half, and that's what's awesome about here. Like I was at physical therapy, and the physical therapist, you go to the game last week, and I was like, yeah. She's like, it was ugly, but I'd rather have it be ugly than blow them out. Like I was like, these people, they don't get it. Like they don't get how freaking awesome it is that this team doesn't lose. And Alabama doesn't worry me.
You're not at all
Oregon
concerned
doesn't
about
worry
psycho
me.
khakis there? Michigan sideline?
Michigan doesn't. Well, Michigan
Not-
only worries me
not concerned
because
about the
it's the
Khakis?
game. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like when NFC East teams play, it doesn't really matter. It's just close. That game is going to be all momentum. So I don't know what could happen there.
It'll
Michigan
be like 2
killed
years
Utah.
ago. It'll be like 2 years ago when they
Yeah.
played at Michigan,
Yeah.
and like Ohio State was like number 3, and Michigan was
undefeated.
unranked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it came down to like a 2-point conversion that what is it? I think it was Devin Gardner had an open running lane to the left and decided, no, I'm just going to throw an interception
I
right in the
remember
end
that.
zone.
I
Yeah,
remember that.
that
Is
was
this
like at Michigan this year. So
Oh, is
that'll
that the big house?
That's the big house too.
That's the big house. So that's going to be. I think that'll be the closest Big Ten game.
Yeah.
Michigan State is good, but
They are
Ohio
really
State
good.
defense is better than their offense. Simply much better, and at home, I'll take Ohio State defense with the crowd over Connor Cook.
Okay, yeah, if it's at home, I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah, and same
I
Penn
think-
State's at home too.
Johnny
I still
Thomas,
think-
dude, he's going to be running all over you.
I hope he gets out there.
Johnny get minutes yet or no?
I don't know.
No, we'd like to think he is, but no.
Yeah,
He will eventually.
he gets out. He's a hard worker.
He is.
We'll
He's a
move
real
on.
dude.
They got so many running backs. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Go pick next
Yeah.
He's just
Maybe-
a real dude.
He should have been. He should have been a
Eventually.
dude.
Should have come to
Eventually,
Imagine if he was a dude. He'd be in the pros by now.
Yeah.
eventually he's a dude. He'll eventually
That'd be
he'll
a starting.
starting for Penn State. Let's see that happen. I'd be actually pretty pumped.
All right, MLB. MLB. All right, we'll talk quick. NFL MVP. Just take your pick. Go around the room. Most impressive QB so far.
It's got to be Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's got to be
Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah. Brady at his age, what he's doing, not showing any signs of slowing down. Brady.
Like, what is it? I'll say this. There was something good they did on Felger and Maz the other day, which I agree with. It's if I'm taking a quarterback for one game, I'm taking Tom Brady. If I'm taking a quarterback for one season, I'm taking Tom Brady, just especially because of this year. But if I'm taking a quarterback to build my team around now, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers just because he's younger
That's just that's just a you thing.
and he's more mobile.
Yeah.
Rodgers looked so good the other night.
Oh, God.
That's
Oh,
right. And that's right
okay.
now. I'm not saying like overall. I'm saying if I'm
Okay.
starting a team
I'm
right
being perfectly honest, guys. If you look at what Aaron Rodgers has been able to do with throwing the football less, it's really, really hard for me right now. And I trust me, I think Tom Brady ultimately could be the MVP. He's thrown 10 touchdowns to no picks, 771 yards, and he's completed like 75% of his passes. Like, I get that Brady's thrown for 1,112 yards, but like,
Yeah.
Aaron
It is.
Rodgers is unbelievable.
Who the
So-
Patriots play week 1?
They play the
Pittsburgh
Steelers.
Steelers.
The thing I will say about Tom
Also,
Brady
the Packers
is this.
played three good teams too.
Now, yeah, but how good are the Chiefs realistically, and it's from a secondary standpoint?
He picked on that.
Peters,
Got hurt.
Peters is hands down has been their best corner all
Yeah.
year. Okay, so that's all I'm saying in regards to their secondary.
All right.
Hey,
But-
I'm taking the Chiefs, guys.
I'm
by
not taking
double digits.
I'm not taking anybody in this conversation, by the way. I think it's the worst conversation ever. I don't want to pick against Tom Brady because what he was able to do to Buffalo, who's shut out everybody since. So,
All right. I'll change the question for you and myself. The quarterback that has impressed you the most. My answer is Andy Dalton, hands down. Andy Dalton in that offensive line. Dude,
Quarterback that has impressed me the most.
and then we're going to go that has
Tyrod
defense
Taylor.
to it.
okay, I got it. I got a good one.
Yeah.
I got a good one. Derek Carr. I've
Okay,
always said.
Yeah,
I've always
I
said,
agree with that. I agree with that.
I've always said that Derek Carr, and honestly, like I know, I'm not sure if I probably told you guys this at one point before. I always believe that Derek Carr has a long-term future in the NFL. He's not going to be a Hall of Famer. He's not going to be like the greatest player in the history of the game, but
Like,
he's going
Breeze.
to be a long-term good quarterback in this league. Couple Pro Bowls. I really feel strongly. He's a strong arm and a good football IQ.
All right, least impressive quarterback so far.
I would go obvious and say Andrew Luck, but I'm gonna go Tannehill.
Yeah.
I think everyone's saying all year this is his breakout year. This is the year the Dolphins break
supposed to
out.
be
They got the defense. Yeah, this is the year they got the defense shored up, and they thought he had weapons out there. Rashad Matthews is having a good year, but like he just doesn't look great. He's just not. He's never gonna be like a playoff quarterback. He's never gonna be a Super Bowl quarterback. He's gonna be like an 8-8,
He's
500.
paid like one.
Yeah, he is,
Dave.
but he's a 500 quarterback. That's what he
I
is.
agree.
David.
Probably. I don't know. It's just so hard because there's so many out there. Least impressive is probably going to be Colin Kaepernick, right? Everybody thought
Oh,
the 49ers, especially after that game against the Vikings, were going to have a bounce back year. Everyone was saying, "Oh, the 49ers returned to Super Bowl form." This guy was what, like maybe another quarter away from a Super Bowl ring? Like, he's fallen off the map so much. Like, he was supposed to be the next Tom Brady, take over the starter's job from Alex Smith, but he has been disappointing.
I'm gonna say most disappointing for me is someone I've really liked for a long time, in Joe Flacco. I've been really disappointed at how inconsistently he's played. That being said, he's had to make up for a lot of defensive errors. So, it's kind of between him and Andrew Luck for me. Both have been abysmal.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I want to say Sam Bradford, but honestly, did you expect anything else from Sam Bradford? You know what I mean? Did you
I
expect
didn't.
Sam Bradford
No.
to be good?
God, no.
I'm just as surprised he's not.
I
injured.
expected their offense to be better, and it looked good the other day, but sample size too. They
Yeah.
played the Jets coming off a short week. So I'd say Sam Bradford, but also, I could throw in Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers,
I was thinking him too.
he hasn't been great.
Yeah.
I mean, he's for somebody who's always supposed to be. Awesome.
He has been really bad this year. His quarterback
He's-
rating tells you otherwise, but I think that's kind of the story
Yeah.
of his career. He has like a 95.
He's also hasn't had Antonio Gates though, as Gates has been suspended.
That's true.
All right, quick. We're going MLB playoffs, just World Series pick around the room right before the playoffs start. Dave. no
Choo choo!
explanation.
All aboard the Cubs bandwagon, baby. Got to do it. Hashtag
Oh,
we
you're
are
picking
good.
the Cubs to win the World Series?
Yeah, dude, we're good this year. We're good.
We're good. You just refer to them as we?
Dude.
Matt, who you got?
He's so on the bandwagon.
All right, who do I have?
Yeah.
Okay. Really, 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 really tough between. All right, I'm going to go with the Dodgers. I really am. I'm going to go with the two best pitchers in baseball right now.
George.
I got Mets. Pitching staff's too overpowering. And,
Wow.
Much as I know it's bold, but I don't know. I feel like Kershaw's gonna like screw up in the playoffs. I don't know.
I like
Not
the
this
Mets.
year.
Greinke's been rock solid, but I don't know. I don't know if he can carry it through.
They say it takes a lot of luck to succeed in the playoffs, and I think Clayton Kershaw has a lot of luck. And by luck, he has a lot of Andrew Luck in him in the playoffs. Not good. So I'm gonna go with the Mets. But if the Cubs won the World Series, I would be so happy. So Cubs or Mets?
You can't root against the Cubs this year.
I'm not rooting against them. I'm just saying who I think is going to win. I think they have the two best pitchers in baseball.
I think the Mets have the mojo right now. Absolutely. The Mets have the mojo.
I think the Mets have the most momentum going in, but you got to pick the Cubs. I mean, just look who they got on their team. They haven't won since 1908. They got Theo Epstein, who's no stranger to reversing curses. They got John Lester, who's the comeback story, coming back from cancer. He and Jake Arrieta are bolstering that that Cubs rotation right there. They got Starlin.
They're going to be good in
Castro.
3 years, like really
They
good
have
in
Chris
3 years,
Bryant.
2 years.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
too
they'll be a
early.
dynasty, dude.
All right. All right.
A lifelong Cubs fan.
Dude, they're gonna lose
Run
that
a little
wild card.
long.
You guys out.
Guaranteed
Oh,
they lose that
hey,
wild card. That'd be the most Cubs thing ever to lose that wild card.
I'm gonna get to the ticker.
Yeah, take
You
out
guys.
your freaking
Get the
gong.
gong.
You want my
Get the
ticker?
gong.
You want the
I
gong?
want the gong. Hit me with the gong right now.
Gong? Get you the gong.
Do it.
I'll give you a beard too if you really want it. You want the
I
gong?
already have
No,
one.
I already
Can you
got
put
one.
a beard on me? Because like they
We're
have.
sliding
one,
into the
but-
last segment, a section
Dude, if
I like to
concentrate
call
for 5 seconds,
rapid
I'll go.
fire. Rapid fire around the room. Dave Souza, Jason Day, Jordan Spieth.
Jordan Spieth.
Who was more impressive this season?
Jordan Spieth. He won 2 majors and was a couple of strokes away from winning all 4.
George.
I hate you. I hate you.
That's brutal.
Yeah, that was upsetting.
awesome.
That makes me question my involvement in this blog. Um,
Back out now. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I'm too deep. Yeah, I'll take Spieth too. He just looked unbelievable. I don't watch golf much, so I can't give you much technical analysis, but he's 22 and has a hot girlfriend, so he's good in my book.
All right.
Holy shit.
I thought I could put it on you. That's the only reason I clicked it. Matt.
All right. Jason Day was the most consistent golfer this year. He was the most, or in this what's it called year? This yes,
Season.
excuse me. This season he was the most consistent golfer, no question about it, start to finish. Only problem is Jordan Spieth. He had some hangovers from winning too many majors. It's fine. He won 2 majors, finished in the top 5. All of them. Could argue he deserved to win 3 of them. You could also argue he deserved to win none of them, or one of them only.
One of them, yeah.
But at the same time, I'm gonna go with 22 years old. And if you said who was the most impressive best golfer this year, Spieth finished off on the right note, and he was probably the best golfer all year.
22 years old, getting a $10 million check.
One mega
All right.
applause.
$10 million check that was chump change. He made $225,000 per round this season.
Unbelievable.
His caddy made more than 52 golfers on the tour.
That's awesome.
I gotta go Jordan Spieth. I've been Jordan Spieth since like day one, Texas, when he was playing in John Deere. I picked last year. You can ask Tassos Wallingford. I went into the thing. I said, I bet you next year Jordan Spieth wins 2 majors before he did anything. Before the Masters in 14, I said he wins 2 majors next year, and he said, whatever. Did a parlay. I picked Jordan Spieth for all 4 majors. And get your money back if you get one right. Double up, you get 2. So I picked him for all 4. He won 2. It worked out pretty well.
That's not bad.
Best guy ever. Did you see him after he won?
Such a gentleman. I
When he
love
signed,
that guy.
when he signed it for the kid in the wheelchair. How do you not love Jordan Spieth?
He's the best.
Yeah, what is it? A friend of mine was saying is that it was actually Chase. He's a blogger on the site. He does a lot of the hockey stuff. He was saying, he just wishes that Jordan Spieth was like a bad guy, like a Shooter McGavin type player. He goes,
Like Tiger.
because it would just be so funny just to watch, like someone that good, like walk around and be like, hey, like, talk to you later, pal, like early 2000s Tiger. But like, 'cause literally, like, there's nobody that hates Jordan Spieth. You can't.
Can't do it. There's nothing not to like about him, and he's a Cowboys fan, so even more.
Did you see?
Played golf with Brady. That was the only thing that matters. He
He
played
plays golf with Romo every week.
Did you see? What is it? I think it was Ricky Fowler.
So what?
Ricky Fowler went to Oregon State, and Jordan Spieth obviously went to Texas. Oklahoma State, my bad. And Oklahoma State beat Texas this week in football. So at the final round, it just pans over to Jordan Spieth walking over to him, and the Fowler just takes out of his hat an Oregon State hat and puts it on and just starts laughing.
I love it. I saw Jordan Spieth at the Cowboys game last year. I said, "What's up?" He just put his arm in the air. We're best friends. So congrats to my best friend on
He likes the site.
actually that $10 million check.
My good friend Jordan.
Yeah, my good friend Jordan. All right, any last words around the room? We've hit the 40-minute mark.
Yeah, my final word of the day, Rex Ryan. Just one thing I want to mention quickly. Rex Ryan's so obsessed with the Patriots that he keeps talking. We'll just keep winning. You keep talking. You're still fat, by the way.
George,
Only 3 words to sum it up. Be a dude.
David.
I just want to take this time to say goodbye and farewell and good luck to my good friend Don Orsillo, who signed as the San Diego
That sounds
Padres
familiar.
announcer today. Great guy, great announcer,
The GOAT.
the greatest of all time announcer. Love him. And good luck in San Diego, Donnie. Enjoy the
Absolutely.
sun.
How about Nessa not showing his tribute?
Oh, that was
Screw
brutal.
Nessa.
It's unbelievable.
I was-
I'm going to tell you right now, if any of you are in a fantasy league, pick up Brandon Whedon, 4 touchdowns this week. Pick up Gavin Escobar, he's going to have 2. I can only
And drop
pray.
Brandon Whedon when he plays the Patriots.
I changed my fantasy name to Smokin' Whedon. So
That's upsetting.
I picked him up last week. I dropped him, so I might pick him up again. Cowboys don't win this week. They don't make the playoffs because they're gonna get spanked by the Patriots next week.
You know the rules.
There's no way the Patriots lose to the Cowboys. It would be unbelievable if they did. I wouldn't believe it.
And you don't have
feel
to
like-
believe it.
I
That's
don't
feel
have
like
okay.
any
we would-
fingers crossed or anything.
I feel like we would just have to cancel Dorm Talk that week if the Cowboys won.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
no, I
I'm
wouldn't.
going by myself. Me
I
and my
wouldn't be
dad
able
will
to do that.
I'll
Me and
make
my
sure.
dad.
I'll make sure we'll see you there. We'll see you there in 2 weeks. Don't worry, we won't be canceling Dorm Talk.
It would be like Prez it would be like Dave Portnoy right after the Super Bowl where we're all just sitting there like looking around like what the fuck, and Tim's sitting there like, this is quite a game, gentlemen.
Tim's got like
Well,
a
the problem
cigar.
is whoever wins this week is going to lose in the Super Bowl. So I'll give that one to you. We'll kick your ass in the Super Bowl.
All right.
I'll be sending you Snapchats from the post game party.
Okay.
All right, see you guys.
Talk to
Peace.
us.
Bye.